What we up to today? Sorry about the sun. See if I can move around a little bit. There you go. What we up to? I'm having problems with my feeder. As you know, it's in the filter house and I've got a downspout for it to fall in to the pond. But I've noticed it's been feeding properly and I couldn't understand why. I've got my little wire where I poke down and it normally clears it out. But it's been feeding. The last time I put the wire down, there was almost half a tub of food stuck in the pipe, and when I actually pulled the sponge out off the end, the smell was horrendous. So I've netted all the food out and threw it away. There, Black Country Koi bloke, he's been and bought me a new feeder, one that spreads. Pete's coming over to set that up for me. Nothing wrong with that feeder at all whatsoever. It's in there, and the size of the socket for the timer is bigger than the hole I've got in my shed. Why do they make it take and pull the plug out and plug it in? I don't know. So what I'm up to now is I flick it around. You've all seen it before. There's my downspout there. So what I'm going to try and do is might put that plug through that hole. I'm going to take that downspout out and have a look, see what it is. But it absolutely stinks terrible. And I've got my little mate here, Mason, waiting to help me. Good lad. Now, that's my feeder. Cracking feeder, no problems with it at all. Just I picked these other spreading feeders because the fish are actually jumping over each other and it is causing damage on fish, and a lot of fish have noticed it. So now they're making one that spreads the food across the water, so they are jumping over each other and damaging each other. So I've just took Mason just helped me take the pipe off. So there's the downspout, so it goes down there, down through this pipe here, which is absolutely spotless. That was the downspout, and then the piece that come out of the shed, that's the elbow off the top, nothing at all. This is the piece that was hanging outside. So that piece there, look, crystal clear, and it seems to be just there. How on earth that's getting moisture there, I don't know, but you can see. But the smell of that is absolutely horrendous, absolutely horrendous. I can't believe it. And all the food was stuck just because of that little bit there. So I'm going to hang on to that feeder because there's nothing wrong with it. But look at the size of the plugs that come with. You would have thought that that would have unplugged out of that machine there, because obviously most of us put these sockets on and you can't get that into them sockets. So I'm going to clean all this up. I might set that up and keep that to feed different times with just mealworms in. So I've got my pellets that will feed, not this year, pellets will feed, obviously every 4 hours I feed mine, and then I could maybe put a small feed on that, 2 feeds a day, we'll see. I've just cleaned the little outlet pipe. Just clean that out. Whether I'm going to be able to show you this now. I'm a bit gutted actually, because I don't know whether you'll actually see it. So that's how it works there, but just there, there's a lip, just there. As the pipe slides down there, you can just about see that lip, and that's probably about 4 mil. So we're at the condensation somehow is just settling in that little bit there and blocking it up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to Dremel that out, smooth all that off round there, so then it can slide. Don't forget this was meant for water, so it wouldn't have made no difference. I don't know whether you can actually see that now, move my finger. So it'll slide down there and then straight out. See it better now, my fingers there, you can actually see that, just about see that lip. It's probably about 4 mil, 4 to 5 mil. So I'll grind all that out, and I think that would have stopped the problem. There's just a little bit of damp got on that, behind that ridge there, so all the food he's been backing up. But Petey's coming round, and I'll show you my new feeder I've had off Dave. So this is my new feeder off Dave. Cheers Dave. He bought all the lads one. Then when he purchased them, there's no timer, so I've had to go and buy a separate timer. You can see by that what it looks like when it's done. You've seen them all before. The idea of these, the seed comes out of there, or the food comes out of there, and it's agitated across the water. I've got it out the box. You've all probably seen these before. You've got the 3 feet, you've got the motor itself, you've got the shoot and spare spikes so you can stick it into dirt. Now my thinking is now is to Dremel that piece out that pipe. I'm quite happy with the way that well, the sun's burning my eyeballs out, so I won't walk over here. I do like the idea of it being inside the shed because it keeps it dry away from the weather. I think if I Dremel that little bit out, the feed will work absolutely brilliant. I'll flick around a sec. You've seen it. You can see how my air stone's working there on my bottom drain, so when the food drops in there through the pipe, it does quite it spreads, but not fast enough really. What I was thinking of doing is putting the elbow back on that pipe, the water outlet, and it sit there, so it blows the water that way, so when the feed drops out it'll disperse it. That's what my thinking was. Fish are all doing absolutely fantastic. As you know, I've had 3 new fish off stir from Oakley. A little lad here, look. What do you think of your fish, mate?
Yeah.
Got to thin a few out, there's a few moving on. Some of the smaller ones. There's some big ones in there as well. I'm quite happy with the way things are at the moment. Yeah, so back to the feed. I think I'm just going to try and Dremel that out before Pete turns up. You got to set the timer on that one anyway, and give that another bash because I do like the idea of it. Can't make my mind up, can I? Like I say, here's the kit. Bit awkward trying to hold the camera and show you. You've got the chute. The chute's in there. I don't know where that comes from, if I'm honest. It's all got to be fitted together. And you've got inside the feed tub, you've got the legs, there's 3 of them, just screwed together, and that's about it. I think a few other bits and dabs, I think them and spikes, so you can, if you're near dirt, you can actually put it in the dirt and secure it. Yeah, they look like spikes, yeah. And the screws for the fittings. Now, I don't know why you've got all that cable and you've got this box. Now I would have thought that was the control box, but I really don't know what that does. Again, you need somewhere to put this. I should imagine that's watertight, you can tell by the fittings, but that really should have been mounted in the base of that. In my little workshop, little sanding disc on the end of me parkside, like a Dremel tool. So what I'm going to do, get it in there and grind that ridge out, and then I'll get back to you. So I've got my Dremel on it. The lip come out here further at the top, this side and the other side, and as you can see now with my fingers on that, that's flat, so there's no lip for the food to stick behind, and I've tried to smooth it off as best as I can. So you can see now there's no lip there at all. I've took the whole lot out. And on the inside of that there, just geared the lip, just a little bit of a sanding. I'm just hoping that where I've sanded it there now, I don't think it'll stick, because obviously it's got to drop the length of that pipe first before it even hits that bend. Out the small pipe and out that little piece there. We'll give it a try, see what happens. I don't think you can pick me up on camera. My phone battery's going flat. What I've had to do, I can't get this elbow on and get it through the hole, so I put a piece of masking tape in line is the hole, so I know this elbow fits the straight pipe. So if I put the screw in there now, it should join it back together. Okay then, so Pete's been round yesterday, so what I decided to do, what I spoke about earlier, you've seen me take the bevel edge off that bend on the pipe. I've now put the bend back on the inlet where the water comes back into the pond, and the idea is you can see the pellet will fall from there to the flow and push it away. If I'm just zooming, you can see all the pipe work there where all the fish have been jumping over, even the safety float switch next to it. So I'm trying to avoid it, and I don't want to make that pipe really any longer. The fish are all doing absolutely amazing. In the tank to the side there, I've just got a few of the grow ones that Mason had off Dave that I've got to move on. I'm the bifters of the kite. Them all healthy and swimming about, so I'm not just going to throw them away. I'm actually waiting for food. And normally swim away, but now they're all coming back to me jag off exclusively kite. Now they're all coming, and see how close my hand is to the water. They've all calmed down again now. So the feed is due to go off 2 o'clock. Obviously there's a variation in clocks by a few minutes. It's coming up to 5 to 2. Don't know what the clock's obviously set at 2 o'clock log, so there's a variation. The fish are all hanging round. Just cleaned both filters, didn't want to do the 2 today. Wanted to leave my Nexus till Friday, but that was making a glugging noise. Took the lid off and the outer ring had dropped, so I've had to clean it anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to check the time on the clock itself. You can actually see the jag there, look. All them all waiting there, waiting for the food to drop out. I'll just see if I can get them on camera feeding. And you can see now the water's dropped the flow, so I'm hoping it'll blow the food away. Oh, there you go. Because the water level's down now, I've got some feed sticking to the pipe. Here they come. I've waited a long time to see my fish return to that, and after all the heartache, it's worth it. Keep a look out for my next video. It's up and coming. This is a new toy for us, men and women. and I'm sure most of you will want to purchase one, so look out for the next video that's coming up. Okay, so Scrag's kindly come over to see me. The little collar for the feeder, he's actually made me, Pete and Dave one for our feeders. Now if you want to know how to install that, pop over to Scrag 68 and Aid the Koi Keeper, they both fit in one of them, and you can adjust it so that there's so much feed coming out, because these really meant for bigger ponds and the spread of the food is quite large. So if you've got a smaller pool, obviously it's missing, it's coming out the pool, it's all over the edges and everywhere, so you can reduce the amount of feed by just adding that little collar. So go over to Scrag 68 Craig's, Aid the Koi Keepers, subscribe to the lads, both good lads, and watch how they installed that. So what I've decided to do, Pete's been round, set me feeder up again, bless him. That's up and running now with me feeding. This one now I'm going to keep till next year. Of course, at the point now that the temperatures are changing, it's getting cooler. So I'm going to leave that in the filtered house for now. Leave that feeder up and running that's running now for the next few weeks. And next year I will be setting that up and setting another one up for the mealworms. As always, if you've enjoyed my video, please share it, subscribe if you don't mind, and as always, don't forget to polish our thumb. Until next time.